Hello, everyone, and welcome into the Viking Sports Network here. We are here at the Hyatt Place Tournament Championship game. We have the Aurora Spartans taking over the Hanover College Panthers. I'm here with Kellen King. We should be in for a good one. Both of these teams last night won their games in very dominating fashion. Firstly, for the Aurora Spartans, they beat the Augustana Vikings 70-52, led by Macy Cochran with 18 points last night. And then Hanover College, led by Grace Beazle with 41 last night. Both of these teams can score in bunches. Both of these teams use big quarters. For Aurora, it was a big third quarter scoring, a big fourth quarter, scoring 27 points. While for Hanover, it was a big third quarter scoring 33. Aurora likes to be in a set balance offense. They really excel. They have a lot of good spot shooters. Whereas Hanover excelled really good in that press that Simpson gave them yesterday. But we should be in for a good one. So we're going to take a quick break here, and we'll be back for our starting lineups. All right, and we are back here and we're going to be on the starting lineups here. First, starting up for the Hanover Panthers, Grace Beazle is going to be starting after a big performance last night. Reese Sexton is going to be in there as well. Kayla Lawson as well. Katie Clancy, second leading scorer last night with 15. And then Catherine Benter. So that's going to be the five tonight for Hanover. Once again led by Grace Beazle with 41 last night. And for Aurora, number 2, Delaney Kostner. And Macy Koken, leading scorer last night with 18. Selena Vargas is in there as well tonight. And Gabriella Wolf is ending that 5 here. So we should be in for a good game here. Really looking forward to both of these teams here. I want to welcome in Kellen.
How you doing?
Doing all right, man. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to watch some college hoops.
Excited. Finally excited. College hoops is back.
Absolutely.
I love watching college hoops here. Was able to see the Augustana women today beating Simpson. So after a tough loss last night, they were able to come back. They're now 1-1, but looking forward to both of these teams. One of them trying to go 2-0 and win a championship here and start off the season on a right note.
No, I chose a good first game to come in and watch. Championship game.
Yeah.
Got two, as you said, teams that can score in bunches, so I'm excited to see them drive in. get some buckets. I mean, obviously I hope there's some defense today, but
Yeah.
I'm okay with a shootout.
And we're at the tip here, and that is controlled by Hanover. Hanover bringing up the ball now. Really excelled yesterday when Simpson brought on that press in the third quarter. So interesting to see what they'll do here. That is a good block there. Aurora driving up the floor now. Aurora going with a little bit of a different starting lineup here. Going a little bit bigger. Went with a smaller lineup last night against Augustana. So curious to see how this lineup does. But Aurora does go very deep. And that one's off. Rebound back out. That's another thing Aurora excelled at last night was the offensive rebounds. They are a really good offensive rebounding team. Oh, what a block there. Speaking to that defense, we love seeing that defense.
Absolutely.
So Aurora will have 8 on the shot clock here. Trying to get the ball in bounds here, as they do. 5 on the clock here. That's going to be a 3, and that is off. Another rebound. Again, that's 2 offensive rebounds thrown out. That will be Aurora possession once again.
I mean, Aurora coming in and getting those offensive boards early, if they can keep it consistent and keep crashing those boards, I mean, second chance points are the best thing you can have in basketball.
Agreed. Aurora now with 10 on the shot clock. And almost a steal there. And that's going to be a traveling violation, so ended up not coming to fruition, but you spoke to it. If you can continue to keep getting offensive rebounds, eventually those will come to pass, and eventually you'll be able to score those buckets.
No, we want to bring attention to those offensive boards, but we really want to put a spotlight on that Hanover defense right there. I mean, how many shots did they get up there? And not a single one fell.
Not a single one fell, yeah, that's right. That's right, playing defense until the possession is all the way over. Whether or not that's a turnover or getting that defensive rebound. Good drive in there, but that's off. Rebounded by Hanover, and that's off again. Rebounded by Aurora as they're bringing the ball up the floor. Long pass. That's going to be tipped, deflected into Hanover's hands. And a tip. Not still another tip, but now a steal. One-on-one fast break, and ball possession to Hanover. Drive inside, and that's a missed layup there. Both teams here a little sloppy, some turnovers, maybe a little bit of rust. I said both of these teams last night, as that's a drive in, and we're going to have a foul.
I think the biggest thing we're seeing right now is both of these teams are really pushing the pace, and I mean, I'm not going to act like I know their scheme, but trying to attack and get those shots up early, maybe break off some rust after a day wait. I mean, I don't expect this to last much longer. I would expect both of these teams to break out of this slump and really start driving and getting those layups.
Yeah, and both of these teams started off a little slow last night. Once again, it's just November. You know, you're playing for February.
We're in game 2
of
a tournament.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you're in game 2 for Hanover. You're from all the way from Indiana. That's at least a 4-hour bus ride. Aurora, you're a little bit closer, but I mean, still, you know, you had to leave school early yesterday. You had to stay the night at a hotel. You're not staying in your bed in your dorm, so a little bit of rust, but these teams will find it out.
Beautiful pass
inside, just not able to convert. And that's almost a steal, but great defense there. Aurora trying to move this ball around. Not able to get anything going towards the basket right now. And that's a reach-in foul. Aurora maybe got bailed out a little bit there, but good defense there by Hanover, but just not quite able to finish off the possession. Foul there with 1 on the shot clock. And that's something as a coach you just don't want to see. You hate giving teams that feels like an extra possession. That feels like an offensive rebound, something we've talked about already. It seems like you had them on the ropes, and then, you know, you let them. And now a foul down low.
Well, you don't want to reach. I mean, you see that ball coming right across your hands. You want to take a stab at it, but you just have to be very conscious of, even if I do make contact with this ball, the chances of getting a foul call here are so high, especially this late in the shot clock. I mean, refs are really looking for one moment where they can call something.
Yep. Yeah, agreed. So at the line there, that is number 13. That is Selena Vargas at the line for Aurora. And the first one is in, and we have our first points of the game, almost 4 minutes in. And the second one is up and good as well. So 2-0 ball game here, and Aurora breaking out the press. I was very interested to see who would decide to break it out first. In college basketball, you see it a lot more in college basketball, breaking out those presses. That's a 3 by Grace Beazle, and that's off. That ball will be out of bounds to Hanover. But I was interested to see who would break out the press first. Because when you're early in the season, you want to try everything. You want to try a press. You want to try a 1-3-1. You want to try a 2-3. You want to try a little bit of everything. See what works for your team because you're not quite sure yet. You know, you can only do so much on practices and in scrimmages, but it's not until you get on the floor you're able to see what your team best responds to.
Figuring out that scheme early on in the year is best success for you later on.
That's a 3. That's off. An offensive rebound, and that's going to be a foul.
On the ground there.
Yeah, that'll be on the floor. That foul is on number 4 of Aurora.
All right, we have number 15 coming in for 25 for Aurora. Let's see, we have Kylie Fishback coming in.
Yeah, Aurora very deep. We'll use a lot of individuals here. For those who cannot see in the Aurora J. Carver Center, they occupy 2 whole benches down there. So team comes in very deep.
Well, you can see why they use that press early. You have that many numbers on you. I mean, you might as well. Filter people in and out.
And that's an advantage that you have as a coach, being able to have a press and know, you know what, I don't have to use anyone here for more than 20 minutes a night. That's really huge. And another foul.
Number 33, Katie Clancy.
The foul's on Katie Clancy.
We have number 2 for Hanover, Sammy Berman, coming in for Katie Clancy.
Yeah, Katie Clancy picking up 2 quick fouls here. And that's a good drive in. And that is good.
Bucket by 25.
Aurora with a 4-0 lead as they get a tip. Controlled by Hanover. And now going into their 1-3-1 elevated, something that they showed Augustana last night. They showed them that 1-3-1. That's a 3, and that's off. But rebounded up and in. That is Catherine Bender on the basket. That's another good drive in. Kick out.
Good find in the corner.
Good find. And just off there.
You have to trust that that'll fall eventually.
Oh, but a great steal there. And another 3, and that's in. And that's where Aurora is going to hurt you at. That's Gabrielle Wolf. That is Aurora can hurt you. Set spot 3s. That's what they love to do. They shot 50% from 3 last night. Any team that can shoot 50% from 3 is a dangerous team.
And I was looking at that stat sheet earlier. It wasn't like they shot, 4 or 5 threes. How many threes did they have last night?
They shot 32.
And hitting on half of those, I mean, there's 48 points for you right there.
Yeah. We're going to have a 30-second timeout here by Aurora. So we're going to take a quick little break here. Aurora leading here with 4:13 left in the first quarter, 7-2. And we are back here on the Viking Sports Network with the Hyatt Place Championship game. And Aurora going with a little bit of a different lineup here as they are getting the ball inbounds here. And that's a set 3. And that is good.
As we talked about earlier, that's set 3.
That's what they love to do.
You can't leave anybody on this team open.
Nope. And I've watched Cameron Bullock, who just hit that 3, make 3 of those last night. And that in that exact same spot. That is her spot. She loves to shoot the ball there.
I don't expect her to get very many looks from there if they read the scouting report from last night. Good dish by number 4.
Good feet there. But that's Macy Cochran feeding it in. Yeah, and that's where a team like Aurora is so dangerous, because you fear the 3, so you want to jump, you want to react to the 3. But and that's a good move there inside. But once the ball fake happens and the drive inside, it kind of breaks down the defense. So
I'm seeing a lot of quick guards and wings driving in, but maybe not looking at the basket, looking at those corners, looking at the wing, trying to find somebody open, because they know if they have an open set shot, it's got to fall.
Yep.
As you see, another driving kick.
Yep.
Right back to number 10.
That's another 3 there. That's off, but another offensive rebound. Another drive in, and that's blocked. That's Grace Beazle coming up the floor now. Had a great game last night with 41. And that's off. They'll look to get her going offensively here. Hanover, like I said, Hanover did start a little slow last night, but once they came back from halftime, they really had a really big third quarter. So we'll be looking for them to probably have another big third quarter here tonight. 6 on the shot clock here. Another kick out. And that's off. Hanover gets the rebound. They bring the ball to the floor. And that is out of bounds. Hanover will remain in possession.
Have a couple subs coming in for both teams here.
So Aurora leading here 12-4 with 1:51 left to play in this first quarter. And Hanover did a very good job last night. Even when Simpson would get multiple double-digit leads, they stayed in the game and still kept it at 7, kept it at 8. So this is a team that, even if you're down 8 or up 8 against them, you cannot count them out. They will still come back and they will still try and win that basketball game. That's a good drive in there. That's Riley Doggett for 2. So Aurora kind of extending this lead. Hanover with another miss. And that's going to be a reach-in. And that's just compounding, and now we're at 5 fouls. We're going to be shooting here now, Aurora, for the rest of the quarter. And that's big. I mean, you're already down 10, and now we're going to be shooting for the rest of the quarter.
You like to see this aggressive style from Hanover, trying to get that ball, but that's when you run the risk of giving them free points.
Yep. And especially because there is no 1-and-1. You're always getting 2. So, and you never want to give a good free throw shooting team opportunities at the free throw line. That spells trouble, as that first one is off. That is Kylie Fischbach at the line for Aurora. And the second one is off. So 0 for 2 from the line, but not something that we're going to get accustomed to seeing, because Aurora is a very good free throw shooting team. Hanover needs to get a bucket here down by 10. If you're a coach, you would like to get it within single digits before the end of the quarter. It's a good drive in, a good move, just not able to quite capitalize. Aurora's running down.
We're going to see Aurora try and push that pace as that ball sails out of bounds.
Yeah, and that's the thing you run the risk of. If you're a high-paced team, you know, you're going to have some turnovers, but they do a very good job of getting offensive rebounds. And that's what you need to do when you're a fast-paced team. You need to be able to offensive rebound because there are going to be some possessions you're going to lose. For example, like that, you're just going to throw the ball away, and that's going to happen. But if you're a coach, you have to emphasize the importance of being able to offensive rebound.
9-second difference here between the shot clock and game clock. So we have Hanover trying to get a bucket before the quarter closes out. Turned over there by Hanover.
And Hanover bringing the press out again. This now is going to be a mostly full court press. Going to be trapping on the passes here. And Aurora just able to get it over the line to drive in, and a good dish in. That's a feed inside. So Aurora extending this lead with 5 seconds to go in this quarter. That's a drive in, and that is in. That's a good move.
Time winding down on that game clock. You know you don't have much time to dish the ball out, and so you just put your head down and you get to that rim. And that's exactly what she wanted to do there. That's exactly what she did.
Yeah. All right, so Aurora leading here 16-6 at the end of the first quarter. We'll be back here for your second quarter here on the Viking Sports Network. We are back here on the Viking Sports Network. I'm Sylvester Brady here with Kellen King. Aurora leading here 16-6, beginning of the second quarter. Going to be looking to extend this lead into halftime. That's going to be a foul down there. That's going to be on the floor. That foul's going to be on number 2 of Hanover.
Hanover picking up where they left off with the fouls. We make it 14 seconds before our next foul.
Yeah, it's going to be Sammy Berman on the foul for Hanover. And that's going to time out. Oh. And I think Aurora was asking for a timeout.
Yeah, we have Sam Barrett inbounding the ball there, and she very clearly asked for a timeout, but the ref says 5 seconds came up before that, so Hanover ball.
The only thing I can think that happened there is she did not turn to the official. She did not turn to the official all the way and make it very abundantly clear. Some officials in that situation, they're a little picky with that. You know, some officials will kind of give it to you because they know you want to take one. Some officials, they would like for you to call it very loudly. That's a turnover there. Hanover just not able to really get anything going here offensively. It's a drive in, and that's another block.
.14 able to stay with number 10 the entire way there. and she was not fooled by any pass fakes, and she rose up right as she went up for that layup.
Aurora getting the ball in down low. Did have an open, now getting the ball into the corner, but a little bit late now. That's a drive in. Good drive there with the left-handed layup. That is Riley Doggett on the layup. Aurora still in that 1-3-1. That's a good drive in there by Grace Beazle, but just missed the layup. Hanover really struggling here. Probably going to want to get Grace Beazle and an elbow shot, and that's a 3, and that's good.
Just a little too much space there.
Yep. Yeah, and that's something that's in the scouting report. You know, you can't leave any space. You know, once they cross over half court, it's a fair game.
Yeah, she gave a little head fake. Her defender didn't bite on it, so she thought, why not pull this? Because there's a great shot by number 3 at the elbow.
Yeah, that's Reese Sexton getting the bucket. Aurora leading here 21-8, 7:52 left in this second quarter. That's a great pass in, great entry pass. And Aurora just able to respond every time Hanover is maybe going to go on a little bit of a run, maybe getting 1 bucket. Aurora responds with 2 more. That's a cross-court pass. That's a 3. It just rolls out.
I mean, we have seen that so many times so far. Just good looks, open shots, and it just rolls right out.
Yeah, Hanover getting some good looks, getting some good possessions here, but just not quite able to get the ball to go down. That's another move inside, but that's off. Rebounded by Hanover. Looking to push the tempo here.
Great drive by number 3. Just a little too much on the backboard there. Aurora pushing the pace.
That's an open 3. That's off. So now Aurora now on defense.
Aurora switching back to a man defense here. Good.
And that's
stop.
A great shot. That is where Grace Beazle likes it, is in that little short corner to the elbow. That is her shot right there, and that's what allowed her to get 41 last night. She just was exploiting the defense and getting a lot of those open shots. And I'm going to guess now with Grace Beazle making that shot, Aurora may look to go back to the defense that they were just in, taking away the man-to-man. 5 to go for Aurora. A drive in. And
they're going to let that
no call. There was a couple of things that could have been called. Could have been a travel, could have been a shot clock violation. Nothing was called, and Aurora gets a basket. So they lead by 15 here, 25-10. Great drive inside, just not able to finish it off.
Hanover with the offensive rebound.
That's a 3. That's no good. Saw Grace Beazle calling for it there on the elbow. That third spot. She's probably looking to get involved offensively. Probably as a coach, that's what you need. You need your best player in a situation like this. You're down 15. You know, it's not the end of the game. It's just the second quarter, but you know, you really got to start putting the gas on it right now.
No, the sooner you get her going, the more your opposing defense is going to have to pay attention to her, and that opens up the lane.
That opens up everything else. Yep.
Maybe a corner 3, an elbow shot. Just you have that defense collapsing, and then if you have your best player able to look at your other options, then it just means more open shots for you.
Yeah, big group substitutions by both teams. Both teams substituting 3 here. So going to the line here, that'll be number 31 of Aurora. That'll be Gabrielle Wolf. And that first free throw is good. Extending the lead to 16 for Aurora. And the second free throw is good. And so now Aurora going into, I figured that they would change the defense up, going into their press.
Bringing all those new, fresh bodies.
Yep. That's an open layup. That's what Hanover did really well yesterday. They did really well in the press. So it will be interesting to see if Aurora stays in it. Maybe they feel like there was something that Simpson was doing that they won't do, which will allow them to be successful in the press.
So the press's worst nightmare is a team who can handle pace.
Yep.
And as long as Hanover can handle the pace that Aurora's trying to push, they might have to switch out of that press pretty fast.
That's a 3. That's just off. Rebounded by Hanover. And they're now taking the ball up the floor. So Hanover able to get a couple of stops here. And now looking to put a couple of possessions together. That's Grace Beazle on the wing. That's a drive in, and it's just off. Offensive rebound goes up, and that's a foul. And that's the best thing you want in a situation when you're down, getting fouls, because you can make up while the clock is stopped.
So we have Caitlin Lorenzi at the free throw line now, once we get back from this timeout.
All right, Aurora leading here 27-12, 4:15 left in this second quarter, and we'll be right back on the Viking Sports Network. All right, and we are back here on the Viking Sports Network. Here just right before the beginning, we're coming back here. We're going to have free throws. I just want to ask Kellen really quickly, what have you seen from both of these teams that you've liked offensively?
I mean, offensively, both of these teams have been amazing at driving and kicking out, finding an open teammate. But the real difference here is Aurora has been able to knock down those shots. And with Hanover, you have all these shots just rimming out. And, I mean, you have to expect later in this game, those are going to fall. You have to keep trusting your teammates. But absolutely do not abandon that drive and kick scheme.
I agree. I completely agree. Yeah, Hanover just not able to quite get those shots to fall as they get both free throws to fall. And now Hanover is going to be in their own press. So now it'll be really interesting. Aurora struggled a little bit yesterday on the press when Augustana brought it. Like I said, Aurora is a team. They like to get set. They like to get balanced. If you notice, every single time down the floor, they are calling a different play. So they like to get set. They like to get balanced, like to get those open looks. So it'll be interesting to see if Hanover can disrupt that. And you see coach of Hanover saying that's one. Probably told them something along the lines in the timeout of, hey, if we can just get a couple stops, if we can just get 3, 4, 5 stops, we can be right back in this ball game.
So we've seen Hanover string together a couple buckets, especially last night. So if you can hold Aurora to just a bucket or two every other possession, then, I mean, there is no reason Hanover cannot get back into this game. I mean, 11 points for this team is nothing.
When you have someone on your team that is capable of scoring 40 points, an 11-point lead is nothing. And that's a cross-court pass, and that's a steal.
Jumped on by Sammy Berman.
And that's a layup, and that's good. Aurora going to take a timeout here. And that's exactly what we spoke about is Aurora struggled yesterday in that press. Hanover now bringing that press, bringing it up. It's now a 9-point game, so it will be interesting to see. Hanover may stay in that press for the next 3:18. We'll be right back here on the Viking Sports Network. Aurora's leading 27-18. All right, and we are back here. Hanover's still in that press. See if they're giving Aurora still some of those same troubles as they are. That's a tip, and that's going to be a foul. So Hanover will have the ball on the side.
Coming out of that timeout with just as much aggression as they had before. I mean, they really haven't dropped aggression much all through this game. The difference we're seeing is them being maybe a little smarter with it, not getting as many fouls and turning that aggression into turnovers.
Yep. That's a tip there by Aurora. That'll be out of bounds, but Hanover will retain possession.
So we've seen both teams play that passing lane very well, as we have Delaney Costner there getting into that passing lane and just getting out of bounds. Again, looks like she got a fingertip on that ball. I mean, if they can stay aggressive in those passing lanes, then you have to be really careful with this ball.
And Grace Beazle, a little uncareful with the ball, keeping it out. That's going to be another foul for her. That's her first one. Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see what Hanover decides to do defensively for this next 2:37 of the second quarter. And that's off. No foul call, as we have a player down on the floor here. And
the Aurora coach is not very happy with maybe the lack of severity of that call, as it doesn't seem like, I guess, was there a foul call there? I didn't see anything.
I did not see a foul call. I believe that ball was to be out of bounds to Hanover possession. So we'll see here. We'll take a quick timeout here on the Viking Sports Network.
That was number 31, Gabrielle Wolf, hitting the ground there, and you may have been able to hear it from our mics as she hit the ground pretty hard there.
Yeah, it's a pretty hard foul. Yeah, so Hanover does take possession. Yeah, Aurora coach very frustrated with the lack of a call there. That's a steal there by Aurora. And that's a travel there. Aurora didn't handle the pressure really well last night. And now we're starting to see it again. So maybe if they can keep this pressure up, Aurora was only pressed in the second half yesterday. So if they're maybe pressed all game, maybe Hanover can finally start seeing the cracks in that Aurora offense.
We see a lot of Hanover players on the bench still have yet to take off their warm-up. So we might see some of them taking off that warm-up and getting ready. If they're going to keep this pressure up, and you're going to have tired bodies out there, and getting the whole team activated on such a deep team as Aurora is going to be very vital.
Yeah, agreed. If you're playing a team that's as deep as Aurora and you're going to press them, you got to be able to match them. That's a turnover there by Hanover. There's a great feed inside, just not able to quite get the pass in. That's a great steal.
So we see Aurora trying to maybe pick up on the pace that Hanover's pushing, and if I'm a player out there, I want to slow down and get into our scheme rather than playing up to theirs.
Up to theirs, yep. Because Aurora has been playing up tempo, but as we just saw there, it's not really benefiting them very much. That's not the game that they're used to playing. That's a great shot fake there. And that's off. Offensive rebound,
great,
and that's good.
Rebound.
And now Hanover coming back. They're only down by 7 now. This team was down by 15 at the beginning of this quarter. And Aurora now with a driving kick. That's 3 is off. Now a trap in the backcourt. Now Hanover pushing the ball up the floor. They do have numbers here. That's a cross-court pass. Hanover is going to retain possession.
With Elliot Dutrek playing that passing lane, and I'll keep saying it until it's not true. Both of these teams very aggressive in that passing lane.
And now 45 seconds left here. Just a 7-point lead for Aurora, led by as much as 15 at the beginning of this quarter. That's going to be a travel.
6.8 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock for Aurora here. May see them try and get this clock down as much as they can before taking a shot, just so Hanover doesn't get any more momentum heading into this half.
Yep. And Hanover now falling back into just now a man-to-man defense. That's a drive in, and that is blocked.
A clean block by number 2 there.
That is Sammy Berman on the block. So we previewed these teams' offenses in the beginning and saw that offense of Aurora in the first quarter, and now starting to see that offense, really that defense turn into offense for Hanover.
Absolutely. I mean, we had such glowing reviews of their offense before this game, but defense has been the real show here, really being able to stop these teams.
That's a good drive in there.
As we have both teams implementing different schemes on defense, but both of them, I mean, really working to a T. You saw Hanover struggling to stop Aurora early on, but, I mean, as a coach, you adjust to that. As a player, you adjust to that, and they're right back in this game.
Yeah. And like we also talked about, very early season, so you still want to try out what you want to do, but at the end of the day, you have to realize, okay, that's not what we had in plan for this game, but still have to, go to what is going to get us to be able to win this basketball game. And for Hanover, that was going into that press. And now 27-21 here, 4.4 on the game clock, and that second free throw is off. 1 second here, and they are not able to get a shot off. So at halftime, Aurora leads 27-21. Kellen, what did you really see there in the first half from Aurora?
From Aurora, you have them early on being able to get into their own pace and really finding those open shots. And as we've talked about, letting this team get those open shots is something you cannot allow. You have to get in their face, and if they drive by you, but you cannot let them get an open three. And so early on, they got those open threes, and they really were able to hit them. But later on, Hanover being able to push that pace for them, they got a little too overwhelmed. And I expect to see them a little more prepared for it in the second half, especially with how much Hanover implemented that later on.
Yeah, I agree. And for Hanover, I think you had a very slow start to that first quarter. Only just had a couple points, wasn't even able to crack double digits going into that second quarter. But I think once they saw the press and what it was able to do for them, I think they realized that they're going to need to stay into that. Mm-hmm. And they realized that they're not as deep as Aurora, so they're not going to be able to play it for the entire quarter. We were able to see that they played it for 2 minutes here, then they backed off. And so we'll probably see that of Hanover switching up that defense back and forth, back and forth, back and forth for the rest of the game, pressing when they feel like they need to get back in this game, but then pushing off when they feel like they're in a position where they're comfortable and they can still convert on offense and still convert on defense as well.
Absolutely. I mean, Hanover coach being able to implement that press defense at will, essentially, and his players being able to execute it. I mean, you love to see him noticing when it's going to work best, and you have to trust that he's going to continue to do it. I mean, you have a 15-point deficit early on, and then you enter half only down 6. Obviously, you want to have that lead, but being back in this game is really all you can ask for.
Yep, I agree. So we'll be back for the second half here. We'll be back before that, just a little bit to give you some first half numbers. But here at the Roy J. Carver Center at the Hyatt Place Tournament Championship game, Aurora leads 27-21, and we'll be back after halftime on the Viking Sports Network. All right, hello. We are back here. I am Sylvester Brady here with Kellen King. We are here at the Hyatt Place Tournament Championship game here at Augustana College inside the Roy J. Carver Center. We have the Aurora Spartans leading the Hanover College Panthers 27-21. We'll be back here for the third quarter pretty shortly, but I want to just go over some quick first half notes that I noted. So we came in talking about Aurora and their three-point shooting. In that first half, they only shot 3 for 12 from 3, which is, obviously something that they want to obviously improve on. And they did lead by 17 at one point in time in that first half. So, something that is of note. And the big thing that stuck out to me was the rebounding numbers. In that first quarter, Aurora out-rebounded 15-7. But then in the second quarter, Hanover rebounded Aurora 13-8. So you can see in that first and second quarter, when Hanover started finally getting back in that rebound game, then that's when they were able to cut this lead down. And now usually when you see a lead like this cut down from 17 to 6, you would think that there's a big turnover difference. Well, there's not really a big turnover difference. It's Aurora just being tired out from that press. That press is really tiring them out, and so it's making their opportunities at the basket. It's limiting their opportunities, and it's making them more tired, and so they're missing a lot more. And it's taking away their three-point shooting, which we've talked about they like to do in sets. Another thing I like to know is Hanover has not made a single three this entire game, which I think is quite incredible that you were down 17, came back, and you still haven't made a three yet. I think it's quite incredible. But anything else that you saw in that first half?
Nothing all too pressing, aside from what you noted. I do want to bring more attention to the press and how when you're implementing that press, obviously you're looking for those steals, jumping in those passing lanes, and then kicking it up court and getting a free layup. But what you really want and what you really saw in this game is speeding them up and then turning that sped up process into bad shot selection, tiring them out, and really just getting yourself back in this game. And so I have all the props to Hanover, and especially Hanover's coach, for knowing when to implement it. And I'm excited to see maybe if they come out of the jump and put in that press again, or if they maybe give it a little bit. But I don't expect this to last too long without seeing that press again.
Yep, some scoring leaders here very quickly. Grace Bezo leading Hanover with 4. Catherine Benter also with 4. And Caitlin Lorenzi with another 4. For Aurora, Gabrielle Wolf, who went down earlier in the first half, had 7. Riley Doggett has 6. And Selena Vargas has 4. So balanced scoring between both of the schools. So be interested to see what this second half has in store for us. So Hanover now bringing the ball up the floor. So they do get that ball to Grace Beasley as she drives in, and that's up, and that just rims out, and that's going to be Aurora basketball. And Hanover going right into the press. So as we said, they're going to go right back into that press again, and they're doing it.
I expect Aurora to come out a little more level-headed in this one and being able to kind of adjust to it. And as I say that, there is a jump steal by number 33.
And Grace Bezo does get fouled on her layup attempt. So yeah, you saw with those first couple of passes that it looked like Aurora was finally figuring it out, but then made that fatal cross-court pass that no coach ever wants to see. So you obviously see that it came, and that came with the turnover.
No, it's great when it works, but when it doesn't, you turn your offense into defense, and usually not an advantageous defense. You're usually running a 3-on-2 at that point, and you have to stall them while your teammates get back.
Yeah. So now Grace Beasley at the line for 2 makes that first one and makes that second one. And Hanover going still in that press again. 27-23 here on the lead for Aurora. But Hanover slowly but surely making their way back. In that three-quarters press. And that's going to be an over and back call. So Aurora with 2 turnovers to start the second half. Hanover, you can see the bench. You can feel the momentum swinging here in the Roy J. Carver Center. Hanover slowly but surely breaking back into that lead again. And we talked about earlier, this isn't a team that's going to go away. You know, they feel like that they can score with anyone and still stay in the game with anyone.
No, they're in the championship game for a reason.
Yeah. So Hanover bringing the ball up the floor. As Hanover is looking around, trying to get that ball inside. Maybe there's an advantage they see inside that they would like to exploit. And that pass just leads Grace Bezo a little bit too far into the lane. As we have a layup, and that is going to be good. So Aurora turning defense into offense. So Hanover now bringing the ball up the floor. Gonna want to get a good possession here after the turnover. And that's a feed inside for two.
It's a great find by Clancy, using her left hand there to get it to her big teammate down there and just put it up for the easy layup.
Now Aurora now able to beat the press, and now they have someone down low for an open layup.
We have Elliott Duyutrek wide open down there on the block.
And so now Aurora really fighting out this press a little bit. And so maybe Hanover goes away from it for a little bit, maybe examines what they're doing in this press, seeing as Grace Bezo takes a shot from the elbow. That's off. Aurora with the rebound. So if you're Hanover, and that's almost an open three, but if you're Hanover, you have to determine whether or not you want to stay in this press. You maybe think Aurora's maybe figured it out a little bit. You have to quite see.
The best thing they can do is continue to switch up, but of course that leaves some confusion as there's a bucket there for Aurora. That leaves confusion as you're switching in and out of the defense. There's going to be some issues of switching in and out of that, and that may leave somebody open.
Yep. Hanover used as that's a three for Grace Bezo, and that's in. First three of the game for Hanover. And they're staying in the press. Feel like that they have something there. It should be noted that Hanover in their first game against Simpson used a really big third quarter. That should be a travel. Yep. They used a really big third quarter, outscoring Simpson 33-16 in that third quarter. So Hanover is a team that sees what's going on in that first half and then adjusts accordingly. So we'll see here how they adjust to what Aurora was throwing at them in that first half. To drive in, kick out. And that's great defense there. Trying to get that ball into Bezel. And that's almost a steal. And Aurora is going to retain possession here. That pass was tipped out of bounds.
You have great anticipation there by Catherine Benter, being able to read where that ball was going, get it out of bounds, and allow Hanover defense to reset.
Yeah. So Aurora leading here, and that ball is going to be out of bounds.
Miscommunication there on Aurora's end.
Yeah. But Aurora leading here 33-28. Hanover slowly but surely making and crawling their way back into this basketball game. Great drive in there. That's a foul. They're going to say hand on the back.
Number 13, Selena Vargas for second. Number 2.
That foul's going to be on Selena Vargas. Ooh. And that's going to... Clancy had the position down low, but just not able to handle the pass. But if able to handle the pass, that would have been a great two to bring this game into one possession. Aurora looking around, still trying to kick that ball out. It's a drive in, offensive rebound, and that's good. That is Selena Vargas. So a game that looked like it was maybe on the edge of being a blowout here has turned into a really, really, really good game here. Hanover on the wing. Great kick inside, and that is good.
Kyla Lawson on the little block jump shot right there.
And so Hanover responding every time Aurora responds. That's a steal. Grace Beazle with the steal coming down. She's by herself, tipped. She's able to keep it. Hanover's going to look to swing. Anticipate it, though. That's a drive in. I think she just lost it on the way up. And that's a cross-court pass to an open three. And that just rims out. And an offensive rebound, and that is good. That's Elliot Dutrek for 2.
Great job staying down there, getting the offensive board, and just going right back up with it.
Yep. It's a 7-point lead here for Aurora. 4:15 left in this third quarter. That's an open three. That is off. And that's going to be out on Aurora. Hanover will retain possession. And so we are going to have a media timeout here. 4:07 left in this third quarter. Aurora leading 37-30. We'll be right back on the Viking Sports Network. And we are back here on this fine Saturday evening here in Rock Island, Illinois at Augustana College inside of the Roy J. Carver Center for the Hyatt Place Tournament Championship game. Aurora leading here 37-30. That's a drive in, and we're going to have a foul. Had a little bit of confusion there. Had a couple bodies dropping down to the floor, so we'll see here. That is number 33 at the line for Hanover. That is Katie Clancy at the line for 2. And that first one is up and good. So now we're at a 6-point game. And that second one is good. So we'll see here. Hanover staying in the press.
We have a trap down there.
But Aurora does call a timeout.
Now, being Aurora there, you want to attack that middle because there's so much room for you to kind of maneuver in and out, and you can see the whole floor. But as you see down there, she set herself up right next to the sideline. That allows her to get trapped, and she can't really move out of that. And so even trying to use that pivot and dish a pass off to the middle, she was covered there. And so great job by Hanover just jumping on that sideline and getting them stuck there.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time that sideline is kind of like your third defender there. So if you trap, you're trapped on all three sides there. You can't do a pass forward, you're trapped there. Can't go behind you, that's a sideline. Can't pass back because there's a defender there. So you always want to keep the ball in the middle on a press. You say it all the time, but it feels like it never happens. So Aurora here took a timeout. They're going to want to keep that ball in the middle because that's the only way that you're able to find success on a press and keeping that ball movement. more than likely, a lot of coaches say, you know, if we're in a press breaker and you take more than 2 dribbles, that's not good, because that more than 2 dribbles, that allows the defense to collapse on top of you. So
Absolutely.
you know, if you're Aurora, it's getting the ball in, getting the ball out. Keep that ball moving. That ball should never stay in the backcourt.
No, that ball movement should constantly be moving, but I mean,
They got to get the ball up court here.
when you're Hanover,
Yeah.
you almost want them to keep making those passes, because how many times have they tipped a ball, have they stolen a ball just from those long cross-court passes?
Yeah.
As we see a turnover from Aurora there.
Yeah, Aurora only had 1 second to get the ball above the timeline, and so you see Hanover playing their defense accordingly, knowing that they had to get that ball into the front court. Now we're going to see here, maybe going to have a time adjustment here, probably. Have to see here what happens. And I think we're good. I think we're just making sure that the game clock did not start on that last possession, as it was not touched by anyone. That's a great find. Shot no good, out of bounds, so Aurora would take over possession. So the turnover does not end up getting to Aurora, but Hanover staying in their press. Gonna keep staying in this press, I think, probably for the rest of this game. Because even though Aurora is deep, they have not gone to as deep as a bench as they could have. So Aurora moving the ball around here, trying to find an open shot. 8 on the shot clock to drive in, and it's a shot up, no good. Rebounded, and that's going to be a foul. And I believe that's going to be on the floor on the rebound.
Good job by Macy Coaston going up and getting that ball. I mean, the offensive boards have really been showing themselves for both teams. Both teams really crashing, and they want those second chance points.
Yeah, and we see Gabrielle Wolf coming back in this game. Took a pretty hard fall there in the first half, so good to see her back in this game. And Aurora maybe missing a little bit of her scoring, was the leading scorer before she went out. So Aurora glad to have her back in this game. It was a very different ball game when she left. That's going to be a travel.
So I don't think it'll take us very long to see Gabrielle Wolf be implemented back into this game plan. I mean, having her presence down low, I mean, how many times does she catch the ball, just turn around, put it up? She finds her spot down there on the block, and it's hard to stop her.
Yeah. And I think Hanover now attacking a matchup that they really, really like. They had Katie Clancy up against Sam Barrett, who takes the 3 and is off. I think Hanover is seeing that matchup there, and they're going to exploit it. They keep putting her into the screen and rolls, and another great move by Katie Clancy with the up and under. What a move there. And so now just a 1-point game here, 2 minutes left. Aurora still leading just by 1, and that's another tip. Aurora able to retain possession.
Great change of direction.
Yeah. And that is
another offensive board.
Offensive rebounded. That's a shot. That's off. And now Hanover has a chance to take the lead for the first time in this game. And we're going to have a foul first on Sam Barrett.
There.
I think we have some fans who are disagreeing with the call.
I mean, 1:37 left in this third quarter, and we're already getting very riled up. So I'm excited for this fourth quarter.
I'm excited for this fourth quarter.
Especially 1-point game now.
Yeah.
Everybody's getting into it.
See, yep, and they're going to be 3 seconds in the lane. But you see Hanover was trying to exploit that matchup again. they're going to what we call a whoever offense, and they're kind of going to a whoever offense on Barrett, and that's a steal, and that's going to be Hanover basketball. And very animated coach there of Aurora. That's up, and that's going to be a foul. So very animated. I think just a little bit of frustration is coming out. When you have a 17-point lead and then you see it slowly but surely dwindle over time, it just gets a little frustrating. You feel like you're not able to find the basket. Aurora's offense yesterday was just so smooth. It was so free-flowing. It was, it was just going all in the right directions, and that's not happening right now. And I think just a little frustration coming out from both players, from coaches, from fans. It's just all around right now.
Lily Ernstess knocks down the first one. I mean, what you were doing earlier on this game may not work later on, and as a coach, I'm sure he recognizes it. But it's been hard to translate that into the actual game, and so that's where you see that 17-point lead turn into
what great steal there. Missed layup.
What was a tied game is now a 2-point lead for Hanover.
Which is, Hanover was trailing this game by 17 at one point in time. They have now come back and taken a 2-point lead here. And that shot is off. Rebounded, but it's still.
Great steal by Ernstess right there.
And that's a drive in by Clancy. What a drive in there by Clancy.
Beautiful hesitation, freezing her defender, and then from there it was just a wide open layup.
And Hanover staying in the press. I think that they're going to stay in this press for the rest of the game. They saw what has worked for them.
All third quarter for them.
Yep.
Every made basket by Aurora has just been met. Every made basket by Hanover has been met with a press then right after, and it's hard seeing that ball go into the hoop and then turn around and you have to get across half court in 8 seconds as that defense is right in your face.
Yeah. So 24.6 left in this third quarter. Hanover now leading 41-37. And that first free throw is good.
Riley Doggett at the line for Aurora.
So Hanover most likely, after this free throw, if they get the rebound, will hold for one. As Aurora now implementing their own press.
You've seen it work so well against you. Why not use it against them?
Yeah.
And it works beautifully there.
Yep.
We have 19.5 left in this third quarter. 2-point game, Hanover over Aurora. And we're going to see if Aurora can get another 2-point bucket in here going into the fourth.
Yeah. I think, too, for Aurora, I think they did want to implement this press. I think they could see what was happening in that second quarter, but just weren't making a lot of shots in this third quarter. So I think it's tough to implement a press when you're just never able in a position to do that.
Absolutely.
And Hanover is going to take over possession with 5 seconds left here.
Only thing Aurora can't let happen is getting beat deep. If they make a half-court shot, a full-court shot, I mean, you just have to tip your cap to them.
Yeah. 1 second here. Katie Clancy just off. All right, and that is the end of the third quarter here on the Viking Sports Network. We have a good one here. Stay tuned for this fourth quarter. Hanover now leading Aurora 41-39. And we'll be back here very soon for the beginning of the third quarter. Don't go anywhere. All right, and we are back here on the Viking Sports Network. For the beginning of the fourth quarter, Aurora will have possession here. Going to be looking to get something going offensively as they are now trailing by 2. Led this game by 17 at one point in the second quarter. Now down in this game, going to be looking forward to try and get back in it and, see what they can do. That's a drive inside, and that is good. Tie game.
Kylie Fishback there coming across on that cut and then just powering through the tough contact there and putting that layup up.
And so Aurora not in a press to begin the fourth quarter. And that's a 3. That's off. Rebounded.
Hanover looking for their second three-pointer of the night.
And a good move in by Katie Clancy, just not able to convert it.
Beautiful find.
Yep. That's going to be a foul.
Obviously, you want to make the layup there, but, 2 free throws, hard to pass up.
Yeah.
Especially through tough contact.
Yeah, and this is the fourth quarter, so, and we're now in a tight game, so anytime you're able to get to 5 fouls and you're in the bonus and you're able to shoot, that's amazing. So you'll take any foul you can.
We may be seeing a little more driving here from both teams, trying to draw a little more fouls and try to get to that free throw line. As Fishback misses on the first one.
And the second one is also off.
Aurora looking for a chance to jump up there, but they're leaving those 2 shots still tied 41-41 here.
Yeah, that's a really tough break there, as you want to offensively it's been really tough here in the second half. So you want to get something that will allow you to get some points, especially while the clock is stopped. Free throws, they're free. You want to make them, especially in a tough game like this, but not able to convert there.
Good move by Fishback there.
That's a 3. That's in.
Even over the defender, number 0, Cameron Bullock, being able to knock that down in the corner. That's big.
Yeah.
Anytime you can get points in the fourth quarter, especially this close of a game, every possession is precious at this point.
Yep. And if you're Hanover, that's what you don't want to allow, and that's blocked. That's going to be a jump. Oh.
No, he's calling a foul.
That is called a foul.
On Bullock. Aurora's coach very animated about that.
I am a little surprised about that. I thought that would maybe be a jump, but it is not. We're going to see Katie Clancy coming out of this game. It's been a really big scorer here, as Grace Beazle has not really been much of a factor here in this game. And that's a 3, and that's good. Hanover able to answer back with the 3 of their own.
Caitlin Lorenzi spotting up and hitting that 3 there.
They're still in their press, able to get that ball into the middle. That's another foul.
Great job by Kylie Fishback, just getting that ball and knowing what she wanted to do and getting right to her spot, putting up a layup and maybe not being able to make it, but she's getting a chance to redeem herself on these free throws here.
Yeah, and we saw on the press there, we saw Sam Barrett doing a pass fake up the court, and then passing the ball into the middle. And that's so big because you need that ball in the middle, and being able to shift the defense with not a pass, being able to just shift the defense is so important because it opens up that lane so much for you. As that second one is good, so Aurora will now take a 1-point lead, 45-44. And Hanover gets the ball over. And that's a drive in, and 1, and the bucket. What a move there.
That is Reese Sexton on the tough bucket, driving to her left and then flipping it up with her right through the contact, and now she's got a chance to put Hanover up 2.
Yeah, what a great move there. Able to take the contact and still convert the layup. What a great move there. And you see trying to use that ball fake again. Hanover knowing better this time. That's another set shot. That one's off. Rebound by Beazle. And as a Hanover coach, you have to feel really good about this game. Your leading scorer was out, and you were still able to, come back into a game like this. That's just so important. That's so big. As they do get the ball into her, and then it's blocked. Felt like there was some contact there. That's a cross-court pass. And that's an open three. And that's off. Rebounded by Beazle. And that's going to be a jump. And Hanover will retain possession. And that's so big that the last call down here was called a foul and not a jump, because that possession arrow would have flipped. That would be Aurora basketball right now. And, we're talking about being able to tie up a basketball game, whereas, now Hanover can extend their lead a little bit more. So every little possession is big. And I think we're just going to have a shot clock reset.
Aurora taking a chance at this ref stoppage to come in and implement that press.
Yeah. And that's big as well. Just being able to be able to move a press up and get a press set.
And Aurora taking advantage of it as they applied the pressure very well there. And then getting back on defense.
That's a three. And that's good. Hanover extending this lead now.
Catherine Benter there at the top of the key, even with a hand in her face. It does not matter. She just shoots right over top of it.
Now Hanover with the 5-point cushion.
Nice floater there. Selena Vargas.
So great ball game here coming down the stretch. 3-point lead by Hanover with 6:12 to go. That's a pass inside to Beazle. Tough layup, not able to get it. And Aurora now off and running with a chance to tie. That's a drive in. No call there. Aurora coach animated as well that there was no call. Full court pass and bucket in. What a pass there. What a feed. To be able to have a full court pass leading the offensive player to the bucket, not having them to stop, but leading them in.
Sam Barrett is trying to push the pace of this game, and she's doing a wonderful job of it.
A great game here. Still a 3-point lead by Hanover.
So you see Aurora switching into a zone defense here, throwing something different at Hanover.
Yeah, maybe trying to stop the amount of threes. A team that's a good 3-point shooting team, and they weren't shooting well all this game. You feel like they're due for one, so you go into a defense just to make sure that doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm. And we saw 2 3-pointers hit in this fourth quarter, and so obviously the last thing you want to do is let this Hanover team get hot.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to have a media timeout here. 5:13 left in this fourth quarter. Hanover leading 52-49. And so we'll be back here on the Viking Sports Network. All right, and we are back here on the Viking Sports Network. Hanover will be inbounding the ball in as Aurora still in that zone. And now and what great defense there. Showed zone, but then flashed 2 defenders up. And that's a foul and the bucket. And now Aurora with the chance to tie this game up. Wow, what a sequence of events there.
Elliot Duyutrek through the contact there. I mean, giving her team a chance to tie this game up, that is big, especially with 5 minutes left in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, not able to convert, so still a 1-point lead by Hanover, but great defense there by showing zone and then flashing two. And now they're still in that appears to be a little bit of a man, a little bit of a zone, not able to quite tell. Looks to appear to be man-to-man right now. They're going to be 3 seconds in the lane, so a
great
costly turnover there by Hanover.
We saw Sam Barrett there fronting that post, not allowing a quick entry pass, but then we had number 13 down there, Selena Vargas, in that lane, not allowing a pass over. And so then we saw the Hanover big down there staying in that lane for far too long.
And an Aurora turnover, so not able to capitalize off the 3 second. And I think coming down here, 4:26 left in this game, I think coming down, it's just who makes the least amount of mistakes. You know, just seeing who, limits the turnovers, limits the, 3 second and the keys, just all the little intangible things, just limiting all those. As that's a three, that's off, but a great offensive rebound. I believe that's Clancy on the rebound. She gets it. A good feed. Maybe just a little too low, and that's going to be a jump. And Aurora now is going to take possession. So Hanover now still in that press, but it's a little bit pulled back. It's not as full court, and it's not with as many people. And as they let someone leak behind.
That's Duyutrek wide open down there. That's the problem you face when running that press is you leave that backside a little more open.
Yep.
Where if they try to pass over you, you can maybe tip it. But if they get it over, you have nobody back there to stop that.
Yeah. Hanover gets it, and that's Beazle. That's right at her spot, right on that elbow.
Beautiful shot by Beazle there.
Beazle loves that elbow. And that's a tipped.
That's what Hanover's trying to force there.
Yep.
Those risky passes.
Yep. Maybe not getting the steal, but just getting a tip, and it disrupts the offense for just a second. And that is off, out of bounds. And Aurora now going back into the press. And that's a big thing on a press is it's not all the time of making sure that you get a turnover, as Hanover breaks this one very easily. But it's not all the time you're getting a turnover. Sometimes it's just getting a tip pass and having the ball just on the floor for an extra 5 seconds. That's so important because you only get 30 seconds to shoot the basketball. You take away 5 seconds, that takes away a whole set play that teams can run. And as we know, Aurora likes to run their set plays. So you just discombobulate them just a little bit further when you tip a pass like that.
Any disruption you can cause, while it may not be a steal, which is obviously the end goal, is big in its own right.
Yep. So now Hanover trying to get the ball in. Another pass at the feet. And a move up, but she's...
Oh, calling a charge there on Clancy.
And the official is going to say elbow. She moved that elbow out, extended that elbow out. So still a 1-point lead for Hanover. And they're still in that press, so they feel confident that down the stretch that they can still play this. 2:25 left to go in this game. And another turnover here, so I think we're seeing here down the stretches, turnovers are going to be the factor. It's going to be who can make the less turnovers down the stretch. And that's so important in games like this. It's not always about who is maybe the better team. It's about who made the less mistakes on that day.
So we see two tired teams here, but there's been a long physical game as we see another foul there, another charge call. Great job by Aurora getting that offensive team to turn the ball over on their own accord. When we see two tired teams, you're going to see a lot of mistakes, and it's like you said, it's just who can make less mistakes.
Yep. Another big thing I'm seeing here by Aurora when they're in that press is whoever they have inbounding is usually a guard, so that when that pass comes back to the middle, it's usually in the guard's hand. That's where a lot of teams, if that's a three,
Huge
that's
three.
a big shot.
Huge three by Riley Doggett there.
Aurora now taking the lead by 2.
Pretty early on in the shot clock too, but having the confidence to pull that gives Aurora that 2-point lead.
Yeah. Now 1:33 left in this fourth quarter. Aurora now leading by 2. That's going to be a foul on the reach in.
A little aggressive there by
And
Doggett.
I believe we're now going to be shooting. No, we are not. Not quite yet, but we'll be there very soon. Aurora shooting the rest of the way for every foul. Hanover will be there in a little bit.
As this game ticks later and later, you have to kind of weigh in your mind what's going to be important here. A steal or is a foul really going to kind of sink this ship?
Yeah.
As we see Hanover turn it over there.
Yep. But because no one touched the ball, Hanover able to implement the press because of where the ball was thrown in at. So still big there as they're able to another leak to the end. No shot. They're going to call it travel. There's a little bit of a stutter there. And officials, especially down the stretch, are going to call that.
Elliot Dutrek trying to get maybe another foul call there, get down low and draw some contact, but instead kind of shovels her feet, and instead of 2 points, we have Hanover ball.
And that's Grace Beazle driving in with the foul in the bucket. What a move there. We talked about it. Grace Beazle getting involved here down the stretch. What a bucket there. Just under a minute to go here, tying this game up. And she's going to be able to give Hanover a 1-point lead if she makes this.
That's a very tough bucket there by Grace Beazle, but I'm going to sense that nobody in this building is shocked by her being able to make that play and sink that free throw there, as that gives Hanover the lead with 1 minute left.
When you can score 41, nothing is a shock to you. You feel like you can accomplish anything. And there's going to be a foul, and now Aurora's going to be shooting too. And that's another risk you take when you play in a press like this. You risk that if you're just a second late on that defensive rotation, you risk reaching in and getting that foul call.
We see that we have Elliot Dutrek having a chance to retake this lead for Aurora.
And that first one is off. So now at best can only tie this game up. And that one is good. So Hanover's going to take a 30-second timeout. We're going to stay here and we're going to talk about some things that we want to see happen here. So if you're Hanover, what's the game plan for you? What do you think they're talking about in this huddle right now?
If I'm Hanover, I'm trying my hardest to get down low and draw a foul, draw another tick for that opponent foul, and worst case scenario, if they don't foul you, you're having a pretty open bucket there. And a tie game this late, and with how Aurora's been turning this ball over kind of with a little less pressure than what they're able to show, I think maybe you ramp up the pressure, again, risking a foul, but we've seen a lot of streaky free throw shooting tonight, so you almost want to put them on the line, testing them and making them hit those free throws this late.
Yeah, we'll see here if Aurora coming out of the timeout decides to press. Probably not, as this ball is going to be advanced into the front court, so not going to have an opportunity to press. So tie ball game here, 52.2 left.
See Aurora sinking into that man defense, not leaving anything open.
And they have Barrett on Beazle now. And Hanover, yep, going to go right to that matchup. And that's a three. That's off. Rebound. Aurora gets it.
Slowing this pace down, but we see Sam, she wants to push that pace.
Yep. Now 28 seconds left. Aurora can Can't hold for one just quite yet, but can take this all the way down if they would like. And that's a layup, and that's good.
Macy Kosen there on the left-handed layup. On the give and go, we have a timeout by Hanover.
Wow, what a sequence of events there. Hanover got the matchup they wanted, and maybe took that three just a little early. I would have wanted to wait a little bit. In that situation, I understand you may be open, but I want to go down with my best player shooting the basketball. I want that ball in Grace Beasel's hand no matter what. So now offensively, if you're Hanover, you know that they're putting Barrett on Beasel.
Absolutely.
You know that that's what they're doing. They feel like Barrett is their best defender. Beasel is their best player. So now you have to find a way to get that ball into Beasel, into a spot that she likes. You know that she likes the elbows and she likes down on that block. So being able to get that ball into her, you have 18 seconds. You have enough time to run a play, maybe get an offensive rebound, and then maybe get up another shot. If you can get that rebound again, you don't want to hold for just one because you're still down two.
Say 18 seconds here. You have enough time to run a play for your best player. As you see, that's exactly what they're doing.
Yep, and that's going to be Vargas on Beasel as she moves into the cup.
Oh.
And they're going to call a charge. Wow.
Sam Barrett looked pretty low there. And
wow.
She set her feet and she drew that charge.
That is an amazing play there.
Putting your body on the line there.
And now we're going to have a timeout by Aurora. To be able to be up 17, have the lead taken from you again, and still be in this game. That's so incredible.
Just pure determination.
That's the mark of a good team right there. That's the mark of a team that's been down, that's been out, but is able to bring it back in. And you know, you just knew it was a matter of time before they could figure it out again. They just had to figure out that press. And once they were able to figure out that press here in this second half, it's not been a smooth sailing. It's been an ugly last couple of minutes here, but you know, a win is a win. And
absolutely.
And if you can come out of here 2-0, you feel a lot better about yourself than coming out 1-1.
I mean, we do have 7.2 seconds left, and we have seen Aurora face that pressure and give the ball over.
Yep.
With a lot less time than that.
Yeah.
So we're going to see Hanover really push. They're going to throw fouls to the side. If they foul, they foul. At this rate, they just need to get full contact on that ball and just put up a shot. And we're going to see Aurora really take time and concentration on protecting that ball here. And, I mean, I'm not going to throw out the word miracle, but we might be looking at a miracle situation for Hanover to take this game.
And it should be noted that Grace Beasel is going to be out of this game. I believe she has fouled out. We do not have the live stats with us right now, but I believe she has fouled out. I believe that last charge was her 5th. So that does change your complexion a little bit. And now that this ball is in the front court, it now changes a little bit for Hanover. You're not able to put that full court pressure that you wanted. And they're going to call a foul on Hanover. 33, Clancy. You're going to call her on the push.
That might show itself to be a very costly foul there, as without even getting the ball inbounded, fouling and giving Aurora these 2 free throw shots, it gives them a chance to put this game away.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you're Hanover here, you're hoping that, you know, if you were going to foul, you do it with no time on the clock. You do it before that ball gets in, because now you still have the full 7.2. The ball never got inbound, so no time ever came off the clock.
And with that streaky free throw shooting, as we mentioned before, I mean, maybe less hoping, more expecting a missed free throw here.
Yep. Like I said, you're only down 2. You just need 1. And then there it is. All you needed was just that 1 miss. So now it can't be pushed to a 2-possession game here. So that obviously changes your complexion a lot. And that one falls in. So Hanover is going to take a timeout. And so now 7.2. No time has come off the clock. They're going to have the ball on the sideline, opposite of their bench. So now we're back in this same situation again. Now a little bit different. You're going to need a 3 now. A little bit different. Your best player out of the game. Beazle out of the game. So now you go to your second best option. You go to Clancy.
Yeah, we see a couple subs coming in there. Maybe we see a couple three-point shooters. We see a couple playmakers come in. Somebody who's going to be able to get the ball to whoever's open and just putting full trust in your team here.
Yep. And so probably drawing up a play here. And I think I just saw the assistant of Hanover come over and change where they're going to be inbounding that ball at. So I think they're going to inbound it closer to the bench. Good decision there, because if you're a coach, you can decide whether or not you want to call a timeout or whether or not you just count your losses and just say, you know what, we're going to take the 5-second. Yeah, so really big possession here, obviously, but I mean, what a game we've seen here. What a game we've seen here in the championship. Both of these teams, like we said, moved pretty well through their first round game. So this, as a coach, win or lose, it's encouraging for both teams. Win or lose is very encouraging. And moving into, this is a non-conference play. This is a good win. And you never know where either of these teams can end up. If you win this game, this could be looked at by the selection committee in a couple of months saying, hey, that was a really good win that they had over that team in November. And that could be the difference between you getting an at-large bid into that tournament or not. So now Hanover trying to get that ball in. They do. 6 seconds left. That's a three. That's blocked. Rebound up, and it's good. But no time left. They have to get the ball in, and they do, and that's going to be the ball game. Wow.
Obviously, getting that offensive rebound, maybe your first thought is to go up with it, as she did there, but in the grand scheme of things, you're down 3. You almost want to risk throwing that ball out and getting an extra shot rather than just accepting your 2 points, because then 0.9 seconds left, you have to luck into either a 5-second violation or a steal and then a quick shot, and there your chances drop a lot. And so I understand the thought process there of catch, put it back up, but maybe not the most costly thing in this game, but definitely something that is going to be looked back on.
Yeah, and especially, we're in college, so there's a running clock. That clock doesn't stop when the ball is put into the bucket. So, I mean, a lot of hope there, but you're just moving based off purely of, you just wanted to get points and just see whatever happens. But what a great game we saw here. I saw Aurora up by 17, down, fought back into this game again. It was a really hard-fought win, a really great team, and both teams really played really, really well.
Absolutely.
So, and we have to tip our caps off to the Aurora Spartans, tournament champions of the Hyatt Place tournament here in 2023. So, what a great, great win by this team. And they're going to be going back to Aurora tonight feeling really, really good.
Drawing some attention to maybe those last few possessions, we saw Aurora doing kind of what Hanover struggled with, where they were able to slow down that pace, get that bucket, and I really turned out to be the decision maker there, as on the other end we have Hanover kind of pacing themselves up and shooting that 3 maybe a little earlier than they wanted to, early in that shot clock, and we saw Aurora really capitalize on that.
Yeah, and we talked about it in the first quarter, and Hanover was able to limit it, but those fouls, and it really came back to bite them, because when that first foul happened, now Aurora was able to extend that lead that they already had, so it ended up coming back to bite them in the end, and it just, that's one where you go to the drawing board as a coach and you say, hey, listen, we put ourselves in that situation, so we made our bed, we have to sleep in it, but, obviously, you want that to go very differently. As a coach, you feel like you can have contact without fouling. They were able to limit that in the middle 2 quarters. Weren't able to limit that as much in this final quarter. And I think ultimately that's what ended up being the reason why they weren't able to win this basketball game. But overall, a good game here. Once again, the Aurora Spartans beating the Hanover College Panthers 60-59 here at the Hyatt Place Tournament Championship game. And up next, we have the Augustana men taking on the Knox College Prairie Fire. So I'm Sylvester Brady here with Kellen King, and thank you for listening to us tonight. And we'll be back next Thursday as the Augustana women take on the UW Platteville Pioneers. And so long here from the Viking Sports Network.